With the NFL season starting to wind down, many have started to speculate about just who will have their names on the coaching carousel, as many are expected to be hired and fired this offseason. Well, one of the biggest names in sports media decided to weigh in on this topic today, and we're going to talk about that right after this.
From the foe, you dig?
Welcome to The Way I See It with Jamario Rashad. This is a Carolina Panthers and Charlotte Hornet fan channel. Please do me a favor by hitting the like button, and please make sure you subscribe, as I am on my road to 1K trying to get this channel monetized. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the topic of this video. Earlier today, co-star, co-anchor, however you want to characterize it, Shannon Sharpe of Undisputed decided to weigh in on the potential hiring of current Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh, and he decided to say that he thinks that the Carolina Panthers maybe should go in a different direction, and we're going to give that audio a listen, and I'm going to come back and react to it, but let's go ahead and give this audio a listen.
Shannon, can you see the Panthers hiring Harbaugh?
Yeah, Skip, they need to stop this talking about it can't have an official interview till after the season. As a matter of fact, they talking in the interview. Anytime, Skip, I'm talking to someone about a potential job opening, one would consider that an interview, especially if the guy that's going to do the hiring. I mean, if you come to Fox and you talking to someone, Skip, that could potentially be hiring you, that is a job interview, whether it's over coffee, whether it's over dinner, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I think he I don't know if he'll get this job, but I do believe one of these openings, if he so chooses, he can have it. Now, I would like to see Steve Wilks get this job because I believe he's done an excellent job. And given the shoddy opportunity that he got with Arizona, he should be given another opportunity. But it seems to me that David Tepper is enamored with big-name college coaches. Yep. And that seems to be, I thought he would have learned his lesson with Matt Rule. Now, I don't.
All right, so you heard the audio there. Shannon Sharpe says that he would prefer that the Carolina Panthers do right by current interim head coach Steve Wilks and go ahead and remove the interim tag, offer him a contract, and make him the official head coach for the foreseeable future. And my reaction to that would have to be that I lean towards agreeing with him at this point, and it's for these three reasons. First, many people like to point to his record with the Arizona Cardinals and use that as an indication to project out to what we could expect from this guy in a full year of coaching, when I do not believe that is a fair assessment of his abilities, being that the 2018 Arizona Cardinals were not a team that were currently built to win immediately or especially in that year. They had the 10th overall pick in the first round that year, and they took what would turn out to be the absolute worst quarterback, as currently today he is not even on an NFL roster, being Josh Rosen. He was behind center for 13 of their 16 games. Also, you had David Johnson, who the 2 years prior had been a Rookie of the Year, a Pro Bowler, as well as an All-Pro, who had broken his hand or dislocated his hand or something like that the year before. And when he returned in 2018 to play under Wilks, he was never the same at all, although he was still the feature back, got over 1,200 all-purpose yards. He was not able to rush as effectively as he did in the past, and he definitely could not catch the ball out of the backfield as effectively as he did, because the year prior to 2018, he was able to put up over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. He was just able to put up over 1,200 for Wilks. Now, being a Panthers fan, I already know that if your offense revolves around a star running back who runs out of the backfield as well as catches it, you are not going to be a winning team. Trust and believe me, Christian McCaffrey is a lot better than David Johnson could have ever dreamed of being, and he could not even lead the Carolina Panthers to a lot of victories. So Steve Wilks being held back by that at that current time, there was no way that he was going to be able to be successful with that roster. Now, they were afforded the very first overall pick the next year, which he was subsequently fired from his position after only 1 year. He would have had the opportunity to pick again, pick Kyler Murray, who has been a Pro Bowler, who is getting the big bucks nowadays, proven to be a big time NFL quarterback, he would have played under Wilks, and then we could have gave a fair assessment of his abilities, but we were not able to do that. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is if Wilks is not given an opportunity to be the full-time head coach, that leads credence to him adding his name to the lawsuit that current assistant coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Brian Flores, former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, currently has against the NFL. Many of you all may not know this, but back in June of 2022, Steve Wilks, along with a host of other former head coaches, decided to add their names to the lawsuit to fight alongside of Brian Flores, to say that they feel as though they have been treated badly. They were not given a fair assessment or a fair shake to actually show their abilities, and they were fired for reasons that were not able to be pointed out due to what they were able to produce for the teams. Now, I want to read a short excerpt about what exactly happened back then. Wilks was just angry, and he decided to add his name to this suit, stating that there were things that happened with the GM of the Arizona Cardinals, Steve Keim, who was making poor decisions and is still currently in a position of power there, saying that he had alleging that he had been arrested and convicted or charged with a DUI, and he was still able to remain in his position, although that Wilks never showed any of these character flaws. He was given an unfair shake when the people in power were given the ability to mess up and continue to be in position with themselves. That just shows that credence to his argument that being a person of color, more specifically a black coach, he is not given the same leash or given the same leeway to make mistakes or to be able to matriculate or show growth in his job or in his position without unfortunately being let go due to the need for instant gratification for a lot of these NFL owners. Finally, I want to speak on something that, as a Panthers fan, really excited me, especially over these last few weeks as we were in contention to make the playoffs. Although I had a very strong reaction video just the other day handing out my post-game awards for our game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I definitely like the feel around the team, especially following the news that Wilks was going to bring back former All-Pro cornerback J.C. Horn to fill in for the absence of the former All-Pro cornerback Josh Norman to fill in for our current, second-year sensation J.C. Horn. I had to correct myself there. When he came back, there was just an influx of social media reactions. You were seeing people come out of the woodwork, like classic dominant Panthers player, being it Thomas Davis, Greg Olsen, Smitty, Steve Smith, Agent 89 himself, Trey Ball. Everybody's coming back talking about, let's get the band back together. Let's come back. I would love to help the team. When Matt Rule came in and he took over the team, all of that was immediately lost. There were no former Panthers that came back to assist with the team. In fact, majority of the former Panthers immediately stepped away from the team for reasons that were eventually revealed after the firing of Matt Rule. But immediately once Steve Wilks stepped in, you saw those players start to peak, slowly creep back in, and there has been a large pouring out of support for Steve Wilks to get this interim tag removed by the former players. And if that means that we are going to be able to get the former players back involved with the team, that means a lot to me, because David Tepper was not around to experience the times with these players. He has no personal ties to them aside from the fact that he owns the team that their names show up in the record books in. They played and they accomplished most of their things under former owner Jerry Richardson. So getting these guys back in the building to recapture that keep pounding, to recapture just the feel and the overall culture of what we've had over the past decade, even going back to our inception into the NFL, that is something very important. And if Steve Wilks is going to be able to be somebody that is going to be a very big conduit to that, be able to help and be able to initiate that for this team, I 1000% agree with Shannon Sharpe, and I believe that he should definitely be offered the head coaching job over Jim Harbaugh. But with that being said, what do you all think about this topic? I just wanted to keep this one. I thought I was keeping it short, but I think I might have let my thoughts go on a little bit long. What do you all think about this topic? Should we keep Steve Wilks here as the coach, or should we move on and hire Jim Harbaugh? You all leave your comments down below. Make sure you subscribe. And with that being said, I'm Jamario Rashad. This is the way I see it, and I'm out. Peace.